Video games are an expensive hobby, but at the same time, games are cheaper and more accessible today than ever before. When the Atari 2600 launched in 1977, it cost $200, which doesn't sound too horrible until you adjust for inflation and realize that was like it costing $900. Imagine paying $900 to play this. $60. This is what you expect to pay for a brand new AAA video game. But where did this price come from? Well, in those initial Atari days, games were going for $20 to $30, so pretty good deal. Wait a minute. What the fuck? $120 for Plaque Attack? Oh no! $120 to play Oink. Oink, ladies and gentlemen. $120 to play Tax Avoiders. Why did you have to avoid paying your taxes? Because video games cost $120. God damn. Jump to NES times. Games are now $60, which was like $150. Jesus Christ. However, that price point would remain at $60 going into future console generations, so while the value of the dollar dropped, video games were subtly becoming cheaper with each passing year, except when they try to sell Turok for $80 for Turok. What? There better be over 80 dinosaurs in this game. $60 is still a lot of money today, but for a top-of-the-line video game that you are going to play and enjoy for the rest of your life, a work of art that developers poured years of their lives into, $60 for that? That's just a good deal. The joke is, how many $60 games meet that criteria? These dumbass games out here, you should be paying me $60 to play this bullshit. The price of a game has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of a game. Madden costs as much as Mario Odyssey, Assassin's Creed is $60, and Red Dead 2 is $60. Cyberpunk is an unfinished game, doesn't matter, $60. Doom Eternal is one of the best shooters of all time, also $60. It's like if you walked into a car dealership and you could buy a Rolls Royce for the same price as a used PT Cruiser. Where it gets even more absurd is when you take into account indie games, Celeste, Cuphead, Sonic Mania, Inside, Gungeon. These are some of the best games you can play, and they cost $20. Meanwhile, Metal Gear Survive is $30, Sonic Forces was $40, Balan Wonderworld was $60. What the fuck are these prices? They're just picking an arbitrary number out of Balan's golden hat. Marketing will forever manipulate gamers into wanting to buy the brand new cutting-edge game, even when there's nothing new about the game because it's all built on recycled technology from years ago. My question is, why is everyone in such a rush to play a new shitty game that isn't even finished yet, that cost a lot of money, when you motherfuckers haven't even played any of the classics that have been out for years? Why are you trying to play Mass Effect Andromeda when you haven't even played Mass Effect 2? Why are you buying Metal Gear Survive when you haven't even played Metal Gear Solid? Why are you buying any game when you haven't even played Mario Galaxy yet? You big bitch. I feel like I just have to start showing up at GameStops at this point. When I see somebody pick up a dumbass game, I just knock it out of their hand like, no,
Whoa.
no. Go pick a better game.
Copy that.
God of War is $17, Uncharted is $16, Doom is $25, Phantom Pain is $18, Devil May Cry is $23, so don't let me catch you out here spending $70 on Lawn Mowing Simulator like I know you will. I will come down on you for doing some bullshit like this. Even good games drop in value fast. Ubisoft junk even faster. More than ever, video games are fighting over your money, and as the industry grows, so do your options as a consumer. Now, when I said games drop in value fast 2 seconds ago, I was talking about every game that isn't made by Nintendo. Nintendo games are expensive. Skyward Sword is a 10-year-old Wii game, $60. Mario Kart came out in 2014, doesn't matter, $60. Why are they so expensive? Because it says Nintendo on it. Nintendo is the name brand in video games. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, which could be considered the pinnacle of their genre. Not to mention 3D platformers, which you might as well just call the 3D Mario game genre at this point. Not only is Nintendo the best game developer today, but they have been for 4 decades. And this is how they get away with selling Kirby for $60. Nintendo games are not created equally, but they are sold as equals. Mario Odyssey is $38, and Splatoon 2 is $55, and I just gotta sit here and say, okay, while I would gladly pay $100 for a game as good as Pikmin 3, I feel disgusted and insulted when you ask $60 for Pokemon Sword. Get the fuck out of here. I'll give you $1 for this game. Have you ever heard the expression, the best things in life are free? League of Legends, Valorant, Fortnite, all of the best video games are free. Wait, the $60 annual franchise is now a dinosaur. Call of Duty and Battlefield are higher quality games, but they've monetized in such an exploitive way that people are flocking to free-to-play titles instead. Why pay $60 for a game with a 1-year lifespan when they're still updating Fortnite with free content years later? Then you got Overwatch over here, $40 for a game that is 10 times more polished and replayable than any Call of Duty or Battlefield, and they added how many characters and maps to that game over the years. And now Halo Infinite is going free to play. $60 for this bullshit? This is over.
Happy New Year, Xbox.
Now, back in my day, this must have been around 1910, there was a rental store called Blockbuster. Blockbuster had a deal called Game Pass, where you could pay a monthly fee to keep out 1 or 2 games, and you could come in whenever you wanted and swap them out for another game. Back then, this was the best way to game the system. I remember Blockbuster always had that movie Pirates, and it didn't have Johnny Depp in it. I think this was a different version of the movie. Today, that deal lives on as the Xbox Game Pass. For $15 a month, you can get access to a pretty decent library of games. I think it's something like 300 games, and there is some really good stuff in here. The only thing wrong with the Xbox Game Pass is that the second I recommend this to people, you already know snake-ass Microsoft is going to triple the price on this thing. Sadly, many of the best video games out there are not available on any modern devices. Say you want to play a Sega Saturn game. Well, first you're gonna need the console. What the fuck? And then the game. Let's look for Panzer Dragoon Saga. $1,700! Now remember when I said that games drop in value? We are at a point where remastered versions of games are now outdated. Metal Gear Solid 4 is still only playable on the PS3. Ridge Racer? That doesn't exist. What are you talking about? Do you mean Renzo Racer? Good. GoldenEye? What the fuck is Golden? Are you talking about Golden Tee? That's not a real game. I think you're thinking of the Watch Dogs 2 Golden City bundle. Tekken 3? Huh? Are you talking about the Tekken 7 Season Pass 3? Beautiful Joe. What? You mean Joe's Diner? Emulation is pretty much the only practical way to get at classic games. If it's on arcade, NES, SNES, Genesis, PS1, Game Boy, DS, PS2, N64, or GameCube, you can probably emulate it. Now this may or may not technically be legal, but this is just a straight up fucking crime. And what's nice about emulating games is that they're all free. Remember, back in the 70s, this was $150. Today, it's a 7 kilobyte file. Are cheeseburgers really this bad for your teeth?